Hello, everybody. So I am so excited because today is another day of Badass Love Real Clients, Real Results. If you guys missed Tracy's story last week, go back and listen and get your tissues because it's a tearjerker. And today we are so excited because Tracy is bringing on her client, LaNae. And I'm just going to warn you, go get some tissues. I was chatting with LaNae a little bit before we did this, and I shared with her that I just got out of the shower, had just shaved my legs, and her story inspires me so much, and I'm pretty sure all my leg hair grew back. So you are in for a treat. So Tracy, tell us a little bit about this beautiful woman that you have invited to be on the call with us today.
Hi, LaNae. LaNae has been a nurse working with me for several years now. She's a mom, she's a nurse, she's an educator. She has a really good story. She's kind of been on both sides of the health continuum. 2 years ago, I'll let her tell you her story, but 2 years ago, she was at death's door, and who she is now is just so inspiring and amazing. I just want to introduce you guys to her because she's just wonderful.
She is. I would agree. I'm so grateful to Tracy for introducing me to LaNae because I get the pleasure of being her co-coach. And so, LaNae, I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what your life was like 2 years ago. What was going on?
So, hi, I am LaNae. I have 5 awesome kids, and they're all teenagers. So it's been interesting. And I'm a nurse, and I am now the nurse educator for the hospital because for my safety, I've moved to taking care of my nurses rather than my patients. 2 years ago, I had gotten a brand new multiple sclerosis diagnosis, and I was put on an extremely aggressive anti-immune drug called Rituxan. And it helped every B cell in my body die on purpose, and it was working. But at the exact same moment, COVID actually reached Fallon. So the timing was actually, I never could have imagined in my life that the timing would have been what it was. So I was working the floor, and I was supposed to have patients that couldn't get me sick, but it slipped through the cracks because it does. And in mid-November of 2020, the COVID hit, and it within 48 hours had me in sepsis. And then it progressed to try to eat my lungs up. And by, I'd say 10 days into having COVID and trying and failing at home, I went into respiratory failure, and I was sitting in the 70s. Yeah. And I was rushed to the hospital by my husband with a pulse ox on my finger, not knowing if I was gonna crash at some point in the car ride. I was admitted, and then I had to fight for my life while there was not a bed in all of Nevada, any border state, and there was no beds. And I was tested negative because of my immune system being so depressed. I didn't even have the ability to manifest stuff up top. And I was vented, and then the doctors and the nurses worked very, very hard, and they finally begged a bed for me in Greeley, Colorado. They put me on a vent, they put me on an ambulance, they drove me to Reno, where I was flown on a short wing to Colorado. And I spent 3 days on a vent where the immunologists there were able to figure out what I needed and get it to me. And it saved my life. But in that time, I had to choose to stay. I had a choice, and I chose to stay. And I had to claw my way back from the absolute depths of as close to death as you get without actually dying. I was on oxygen. When I was on the vent, I had 2 quiet strokes. They weren't quiet when I woke up. I was on a walker, and I had a myriad of new health conditions I didn't have before COVID. So it basically got in my body and chewed through me and tried to end my life.
Yeah. And this is why we say from death's doorstep to
Literally,
thriving. And that was 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago.
I actually 2 years ago was MS and 1 year ago was COVID.
Okay. Okay.
So it all
And
happened
then
in 2 years.
when did you decide to start working with Tracy as your coach?
Tracy had been posting some curious things on our page, and another friend of mine had been also posting some similar things. And I talked to her because I've known her since high school, and I tried Optavia, but these new health issues, they kind of reared up and got me, and I ended up hospitalized, and I have a lot of PTSD now. So when I was in the hospital, I didn't cope well, and I went right into every coping mechanism I already had before I went on Optavia. Only made it 2 weeks, and then I just drowned. And I kind of stepped back and waited a good 5 months, and then I know Tracy as a coworker, and what she went through, I wanted to be at least a kind hug, which is well you can do, you know. And so we were able to connect and talk, and she figured out very quickly that I needed support. And so I spoke with the other coach, and she very, very kindly said, I want you to succeed. Go be with this person who's local and do what you can with her. And so I did. And that's what I did. I was so afraid of failing a second time that I started in a kind of different way. I went into the life book. Oh God, it's on my bed because I live in this room right now. So I went in my life book. And that was kind of where I started. I started with the life book, and I was.
How much time difference is there between that first photo and the second one? 2 weeks.
There's only 2 weeks between them.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
what I really want to point out about these photos is, number one, look at her eyes, guys. Like, even though she has makeup on in the second one, which I know sometimes is unfair when you're like no makeup and then makeup, but the sparkle in your eyes, like your eyes are brighter, they are wider, they are healthier. And tell us about how you felt in this photo and how you feel in this photo.
Oh gosh. So the one, the before one, I felt hopeless. I felt like a piñata for COVID. I just felt like I was taking the beating and I didn't have any control. I didn't know how to get control. I felt like I was just drowning alive, and I didn't know how to get out. You know, I was exhausted, always extremely exhausted. And that was actually one of the most inspiring things for getting like together, was that we had a coach call together, and I was talking about fat burn, and that there had been a mention in one of the videos that we watch about getting more energy from it. And I thought, I want that so bad. I want energy so bad. And that was literally, I clung to that when I was having a rough day at the start, was if I get into fat burn, I have energy. And it's weirdly, bizarrely true. How much energy you get, how much better you feel, because your sleep quality is improved, and you're excited to wake up every day. So you're not dragging and clawing your way through every day, versus now, you know, I should be a mess right now because I have all these kids with COVID in my house right now, and I'm in quarantine and with them for my own safety. And I should really have drowned like right away. My brain tried some things, but I've been doing the actual work in the life book, and I know what I'm doing this for. And I remember the misery without it. I remember how bad I felt without it. And so I have a therapist who specializes in PTSD, and I use her. I don't make my coaches do all that for me. I know my resources, and I know when they're appropriate. So I got a hold of my PTSD specialist, and had emergency sessions, anything I needed. My husband knew like how to ground me and get me home safely. You know, it's been really nice knowing that I actually have a toolkit and I can actually use it and it succeeds.
Yeah.
Because I didn't before. I really didn't before.
That's one of the beautiful things about what we do as coaches is we don't just have simple nutrition plans. We don't just have one-on-one coaching. We have group coaching. We have an education system. We have a community. Like we have so many resources that I always tell anybody that's starting this program, your success is inevitable. And the only way that you can fail is if you quit or don't use all of the resources. And I know that you have had a really ridiculously rough week. And I also know that this before photo was when you started. This was 10 pounds down, but you were celebrating something really awesome today. So tell us about that. How many pounds?
Pounds down. 15.
Yay.
It's been 1 month and 9 days and I'm 15 pounds down and I eased into program. So it's just been, it's so nice. I wake up to a reward every day instead of being like, I'm just going to avoid the scale because I don't want to know because that was how it was before, you know? And then I rewarded myself with my cute shirt because I'm down a dress size. And so that's just, it's been so great. And I don't know, I'm very grateful that I actually have something to look forward to when I have a house full of COVID I'm trying to avoid. I'm still not in like that deep, dark place that PTSD wants to keep you. I actually feel still me, like happy and hopeful, excited. I don't know. It's been so nice. Like the difference this has made on my brain, because my brain was acting as my enemy. And like I told Tracy at the beginning of this, my brain and my body couldn't talk. It was when you've almost died, everything is a threat. You have a reality that sets in, your mortality sets in, and my brain and my body could not talk properly. So I've been just staying on plan, which is so nice now that I feel hunger. My brain knows, oh, we're going to eat soon. You're okay. And I know that. So it's been so great to actually make progress. And I utilize the community heavily because I'm super social and I'm locked in my bedroom.
So you're like, I'm on every single coaching call. There are 10 of them per week, and I go to all of them.
No, it's great because in these coaching calls, you get to see people at different stages. Some people have lost over 100 pounds and you get to see them still engaged in the program. And so it's like, I can do anything. Look at them, you know, they just stuck on the program. So it's so awesome. And there's people that are always cheering you on. Like if you're like, I'm 1 day in, they're like, awesome. You're like, okay, yay.
So good. So good. Well, you know, something else that I want to share with you guys is that when we were talking with LaNae this morning, she mentioned that a lot of areas of her life are feeling really out of control right now, right? Like kids are sick, she's in quarantine. There's a lot of life going on in this woman's house. And one of the things that this coaching has gifted her is refocus on what she does control. So in a moment when everything else in her life is crazy out of control, this woman is still waking up inspired, still waking up hopeful, because she's been able to refocus on what she can control, which is plugging into her community, which is leaning into that life book, which is what goes in her mouth, which is the thoughts that go through her mind. And LaNae, we are both just, there you go, goosebumps again. We're so freaking proud of you. And I'll tell you what, girl, your journey inspires us. And we are so grateful to be able to share your journey with others today, because I know that there are so many people in this world that have had a lot of life happening. They've probably faced their own mortality, or they've lost someone dear to them. And it's easy to, like you said, kind of get sucked into that hole and stay there, like stay small, stay stuck. But we just want you to know that there is hope. There is a solution. And if LaNae can go from death's doorstep to thriving in the midst of chaos, so can you. We love you guys so much, and we are so grateful that you were able to tune in today. We hope that LaNae's story has inspired you as much as it has inspired us, and we will look forward to sharing more of her journey as she continues doing awesome things. Yay. Much love, you guys.